What was
you
the
know,
landscape of animation or any of that digital effects when you came in 2004?
yeah. So I remember in 2004, I was, here, there's none of, no VFX, nothing of that sort or animation. And I remember staying at our auntie's uh, house, and the kids were watching a channel, right? And I remember the Disney Channel was just starting to roll out in Vietnam, and
What
and I remember,
what is it? Was it on a network or was it
yeah, if some
on?
I no, it was on a Vietnamese local television, but they were like airing some Disney stuff where they
Oh,
licensed it, or I can't remember what it was, but and the aunt was saying, yeah, this is new and the kids loved it, right? And I'm like, and I'm thinking, and I asked her, does Vietnamese have any animations? As I was always interested in that because obviously I went to school for animation, and she goes, no, nothing. And the more I looked into it, the more I was like, oh, there's none of this. So in the back of my head, there was always like, this is an open market, and it would be cool if there was like some type of animation in Vietnamese. So, you know, uh, I lived in Vietnam for 2 years, and then people started approaching me to do VFX stuff, but I always wanted to do an animation studio. So that's when we opened up Vinimation in 2006, and
okay. So
that's why, yeah.
so for 2 years, what did you do while you when
Well,
you
I
got
helped
there?
out with the family factory, and just I think,
Animated on the
yeah,
side.
yeah, and then, yeah, so yeah, there was an article that of our friend Aaron had his friend at the time. She worked at Baotaning, and she heard that I worked on Polar Express, so they wanted to do a
What did you do?
newspaper.
What did you do in Polar Express?
Uh, for the Polar Express, we did the motion capture for I worked at Giant Studios, and we did all the motion capture, the motions for all the characters on the Polar Express. So she heard about that, and so she wanted to write an article about me.
Right.
And when that came out in Vietnam, all the filmmakers and that article kind of like blew me up more than what I really was. I was just like a technical motion capture editor type guy. But it made me sound like I was like the VFX extraordinaire, and the
Coming to
title of the
Vietnam.
article was the first Vietnamese to go to the South Pole, which was kind of over. But anyway, so all these filmmakers in Vietnam contacted me, and that's why I met Lu Huynh, and
Did they have a contact number on the article? I mean, how did they reach out to you?
no, so yeah, and Min, Min from Do Phim, contacted Bao Tan Ning, contacted
Oh wow.
the news, that the girl who wrote the article, and she gave him my number, and he contacted me, and that's and
Wow.
it,
So
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, and then from there, like, everyone started wanting to work with me. But I at that time, it was funny because I never done any VFX ever, but the pressure was so on, and I wanted to do it, and we were on a laptop, so I knew the software, but I just never did it.
What kind of
So
early work did they ask you for? What was the kind
uh,
of work that they
so
expect from you?
so there was a scene where they filmed the husband and wife in a boat, but it was on a lake, or something. But the director wanted it like violent and like, get on the ocean, like waves and dying, So this is in 2006, and I had a laptop, and so we did like 11 or 12 shots, changing it from the lake to the
Wow.
violent river, and it was
And this is
crazy. We did,
for Lu Huynh
yeah, 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 yeah. And it took us like almost a year to do those 12 shots. I
on
mean, but
on one
yeah.
laptop.
Well, and then we start off with one laptop, and then eventually I got help. Maybe like 6 months down the road, we started with two other computers. It was crazy. We rotoscoped in Photoshop, which back then there was no tools and nothing available. And
Wow.
I mean, all of that could have been now today. Could be done by one person about a week, one person in about a
Wow.
week. But back then, that team eventually built up to like 5, 6 people, and it took us like a year to do. So it's pretty crazy, like the amount of,
That is
yeah,
insane.
yeah, yeah.
Wow. And this was 2006?